May I have a seat? Thank you. Thank you. Hello there. Oh, you're nice and tucked in. I don't want to get you all energetic. My practice here is to put people to sleep, and you, judging by your chart here, tonight is your first trial and assessment, which I will admit does take a little bit of time, but nothing out of the ordinary. And just prior to our first meet here, I do want to let you know I will be speaking in a few different tones. You'll notice my voice go from a little bit loud, but nothing out of the ordinary, to ultimate up close whispers. Okay? Perfect. So, why don't we just go over a few things on your chart and verify a little bit of information. And with that being said, I will go ahead and begin your assessment, which I'll get into here in a few moments because some of the information calls for explanation, but no problem. By the way, my name is Dr. Karuna Satori, and you're pretty much going to be under my supervision the entire night. Don't worry, my glasses prescription has been filled at least within a year, so I can see pretty well. Doctor's humor, my apologies. Let's start. So, judging by your chart here, you have been seen in the past year, which were the first requirements of this procedure. So, go ahead and give that a little bit of a check. Second, can you just verify your full name for me? Address? No, we actually have the Okay, yeah, absolutely. That's your old one. Yeah, no problem. Go ahead. Area code. Zip code. Okay, no problem. So what, your old address was where you lived with your parents, right? You just look a little bit young, that's all. But no judgment. We have people of all ages stay at our sleep clinic. Sometimes I like to call it the dream lab or sleep clinic or sleep lab, because it technically is a laboratory, but alright. Enough talking, enough chit chat, because you are soon not going to have me talking at all. Once we begin the procedure itself, not the actual assessment. Okay, and can you just verify any medications that you may or may not be on? Yes, it's a trick question. Okay. Alright, so you're pretty much up to date. But we're going to return back to this later on. I'm going to go ahead and clip this pen to the board again. And just go ahead and set this down right here. And go ahead and you're going to see me a little bit to your left during this because you are leaned back. I am leaning over you, kind of towering. I apologize. I try to keep my face acne-free, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to start by getting a little bit of vitals, a temperature on you. We're going to do kind of almost like a cranial nerve examination without some of the direct processes like the colorblind test or anything. I'm just going to get very up close and do a few touches on the face because at the end of your assessment, my ultimate goal is to have you asleep. And we are doing a test study at the moment on something called autonomous sensory meridian response. we're going to start bringing it into our sleep clinics, because again, the ultimate goal of our place is to give pure relaxation, find different ways for people to go to sleep, and just kind of take our time. So I'm just going to have you, relax. And I'm going to get a heartbeat on you, okay? Okay. So I may touch you. That is my very first question. Okay. Consent is key, my friend. Go ahead. Just going to set this right on your chest. Okay, deep breath for me, will you? Yep. Okay, one more. Could you do me a favor? Could you actually take the deepest breath that you can? Thank you. Hold it. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, your heart rate is actually very relaxed. It is about, I think, 86 beats per minute, which may seem a little bit high to some people, but actually you are in a state of kind of anxiety. Well, I live in the state of Pennsylvania. I apologize for the cars outside. You would think that they would build our sleep clinic soundproof, right? It shouldn't get too loud. Okay, so when I say you're kind of in a state of anxiety, you've never met me before, and your heart rate is ultimately a little bit higher, but it's pretty much at the rate of before a person lays down to go to sleep at night. In fact, a person's heartbeat can go so low, it can go down to 41 beats per minute. Yes, that is most swimmers, believe it or not. Yeah, swimmers. They're so used to learning their breathing techniques that when they lay down to rest at night, it almost becomes a natural thing. I know a person on YouTube, and their names are Squirmy and Grubs, and her name is Hannah, and she's a swimmer for her college. She trains for 8 hours a day. So by the time she gets home and does the things she needs to do, it's like her breathing is almost trained at this point. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and get your blood pressure as well. Okay, just go ahead and slip your arm right through here for me. Okay, just rest your arm on my leg, please. Okay, let's go ahead and get a pulse, shall we? Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and slip your arm out. You are very, very relaxed. You're in a good state of mind. Your body is, at least. Let's set this over here. Just take this back up with me because we just have to do a quick temp and I can write that down. Okay, so just go ahead and relax your head for me, okay? I'm just going to. Okay, you are at 98.3. An odd number, right? But we are all a little odd. So let's get your heart rate was 80 beats per minute. Your blood pressure was over, and your temp was 98.3. Okay. Perfect. So we are pretty much finished with this. I just need to do our facial examination prior. Like I said, it's kind of like a cranial nerve examination. And then the rest of our time together that you'll be seeing is me testing out a few triggers depending on these things that I'm doing right now. For example, we had an older gentleman last night at our sleep clinic. It was his first time as well. And you learn as you go along, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and get these two things ready while I talk. But so setting this. Oops, sorry. An older gentleman, and he kind of was just completely not having it here. He was actually required by his psychiatrist to see a sleep doctor, and he had sat down, and he did not want to lay down because, you know, older people, they kind of fall asleep on their own sometimes. He just didn't think it was happening for him. So we would do different things to him rather than, you know, like what I'm doing to you now. For example, we started out with doing the direct triggers compared to actually starting out doing our regular testing, which would be heartbeat, things like that. And it worked for him because he was out within 25 minutes. So with you, you're actually a lot calmer. So we have different things set up, which my nurse is actually sitting here right now. Hello. Just try to be quiet on your way out, Lucy. Thank you. She's a little bit loud, but... And judging by what your heart rate was, what your temp was, we have certain triggers set up for you. And if everything goes well tonight, and you choose to come back, some people are forced, we'll continue. And you'll be able to enjoy your time here every single time at the sleep clinic. Some people want to stay every day, but unfortunately, this is a once-in-a-while experience. So do me a favor. I'm just going to go ahead and give a look in your mouth, proving, I mean, don't take this personal, but proving that I don't need to wear gloves. So, trust me. Okay, bright light. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Just going to stick this tongue depressor in your mouth, looking in here. Okay. Okay. Alright. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to set that, dispose of it over here. Then I'm just going to go ahead and give a look in your eyes. So I am actually going to turn out the light for this one, okay? Don't worry. You will not be in the complete dark unless you request it. And we have these hanging lights to definitely keep a little bit of light going. So, alright, you ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. A little bit of light, ready? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead here and pull down your right eyelid. Just go ahead and give a direct look inside. Okay. And I'm going to pull up here on your right eyelid. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm going to come back over and pull up on your right. Oh, I'm sorry. Your left eyelid was over there. Your right upper eyelid. Your pupils are dilating perfectly. And then just come over and finish here on your left lower lid. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just have you follow my hand, okay, or my fingers, Can you tell me how many fingers I'm holding up? Great. Brilliant. Can you see? Excellent. Go ahead and follow my fingers for me, where the light is. Still following? Okay, a little light. Okay, eye focus is perfect. Well, my friend, I'm going to take off my stethoscope here, put it over here, turn on the light, and we have 2 more things before I can start the examination itself. We're going to do a little bit of facial testing. I have here just a chopstick, one that looks like it could have been burned at one point or another on the tip, but don't worry. One of our staff here used it to put out a candle, but it gives a little bit more texture at the end with wax. And I'm just going to get a little bit away from your vision here and just poke a couple areas of your face. For this, I'm going to have you close your eyes. I'm going to have you close your eyes for me. I'm just going to go ahead and place this on a few areas of your head. And when I do, all I need you to do is tell me when I did, okay? Kind of like a hearing test you had in school. The ones that would go beep, boop, beep. Okay, ready? Go ahead and close them. Okay, here we go. Just gonna get out of your vision. Okay, very good. Keep them closed. Keep them closed. Just going to keep them closed. Very good. Stay with me here. Stay as alert as you can. Excellent. Just keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Shh, 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 shh. Keep them closed. Keep them closed. Keep them closed. Yep, that one was right at the nose. Go ahead and open for me. You're doing great. Because the reason that we are asking to do like a facial touch test is so we know we can use these certain triggers as you go to sleep. So let me go ahead and grab my next facial test. And we really don't know why we do this, because hydrate comes in a little glass vial. A little glass vial? A little glass vial. And this hydrate gun goes somewhere against your anatomy. So what I'm going to be doing is just taking a few drops of this and just applying it right on the tip of your tongue. So could you do me a favor? Go ahead and stick your tongue out for me. Ready? 1, 2. You know what's interesting is we don't do the smell test, which is one of the triggers I'm going to be using on you today. But the point is to put you to sleep. I don't know why they wouldn't have me test the smell on you beforehand, but smell is also attached to your taste buds. So can you do me a favor and tell me what that tastes like to you? You don't have to tell me a certain flavor, just there you go. Sour. I could tell before your little lines under your eyes were like, okay. So we are pretty much finished with your assessment, and you did very, very well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and write down the results here. And in the meantime, I just want you to do me a favor and lay back and close your eyes if you'd like. If you're not ready yet, I'll tell you when the appropriate time to do that is. I'm actually going to be leaving here for a moment. I'm gonna have you kind of relax and sit. I'm gonna actually turn on some white noise for you for about just 2 minutes. I have some things I need to get, okay? And then I'll come in, I'll turn the white noise off, and we'll begin our testing. So I'll actually explain that to you in 1 minute. So let me just write this down. Patient. Okay, so I'm really excited for you. You did really, really well. And usually at this time, people are really nervous, like they think something's going to happen to them. But I promise the only thing that's going to happen to you is sleep. Whether you feel anxiety ridden, whether you feel a certain way, I like to assure everybody that they are safe. You are safe here. So, again, what I'm going to do is I want to get you feeling kind of dreary. So for the next 2 minutes, I'm going to turn on some white noise. And the light will still be on. I'm not going to be dimming the light off for this. And again, I kind of want to get your eyes really heavy. So for the next 2 minutes, enjoy this white noise. And I'll come back and we'll start the assessment. And that's pretty much the last time you're going to hear me talking for the rest of the procedure, okay? And before you know it, you'll be asleep. So please excuse me. I've got to get my tree fed. I'll be right back. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Good night. Mm-hmm.